Hey guys, and welcome to my video. So today is part 2 from the DPS video. For sure, if you saw the part 1, I was talking about DPS and about how to make your max DPS and the best DPS to do and things like this, about items, a lot of things. Just check the video and you will find whatever you need from there. So that's part 2. I'm talking about now mistakes you can do on DPS. So that's something for sure can make you lose a lot of DPS. So you can say it's part 2 from what I said from the first time, because things will be a lot different. And if I have time, I will talk about how to make the best DPS test if I will see the video will not be that long. So anyway, for subscribe, like the video so a lot can see this, and that will support me for sure. And let's begin this. So first point is boss fights, and for sure there is some other things I will mention, and that will be on Cold Outlier especially. So let's go for this, and I will talk as I'm doing this here. So here especially on Cold Outlier, I will talk about the problems on boss fights. Can make you lose DPS for sure if you did some attacks, can make you take any CC or any type of CC, can make you not do your damage for sure, as you are can't attack or can't do anything, like taking the node back away from the boss, taking anything, taking CC, taking node down. So you have to move again or begin to understand or begin to do things. So to understand things, you have to always to understand the boss you are fighting with and which way is the best for you to do your max DPS. So if I am fighting here, as example, I know the boss will do something like this. I am losing DPS here. I'm losing DPS again as I got 2 node bats, and actually this fire is moving all the way. So for sure I'm lost my DPS compared to what I can do normally. So these things you have to understand it, you have to understand which place you have to stand. As example, remember skills like this meteor happened. For sure this try is one of my playlists, and actually I am doing this especially to show you how much I lose as DPS. So as example, I'm doing normally about 30 million to do all of these things. I have to do this here. As example, better for me to stay here because I will stay next to the boss and I will not take this node back. If I got this node back, that will make me lose damage because I didn't take it, so I can do better damage for sure. So all of these things is important for you. So for some other point, for sure you always see it here, is issues you can get from the game, from ping and FPS drop. So normally you tend to do your DPS well here because of these things, and that's especially something to happen on Cold Outlier. And actually point number 3, I actually got it here also, it's bugs. As you can see, there is a bug here happen, and it happen a lot. I can't tell the boss as you can see, and I will stay here for a long time and will not kill it. Some bugs can make you do more DPS, some bugs can make you do less DPS, and mostly if you did something like as example on a stone scale passage as example, so there is a bug happen on first boss, it makes you do more DPS, but actually that's not something for real, as I can say. And actually I'm still on this bug for a long time, and crazy 2 minutes for bug like this. So anyway, like what I said, first one, those boss fight, you have to understand the bosses and how they are doing, especially if you are melee class or you are tanking, because that's something important. So for sure check my it's good. Okay, so check the tank video I made before. I was talking about all of the things and the rotations on bosses and how to understand it and things like this. And if you are playing as ranged, you have to understand these things also, so you can do your damage, especially since can hit you as a ranged character, because it's super important for you for sure. Okay, so about point number 2 and 3, so since it's like this, for sure, as I said, FPS and MS. If your FPS is super low, for sure you will get lower DPS, especially if you went to 20 or under these things. So for sure you have to make sure that you have a better FPS. Check my optimized video, that can help you. If you are in this range at least, so you can do your DPS normally. For sure Unreal Engine 3 was super bad on this sense, so you will do less DPS for sure because of this. But don't take this as on training the dummy. As example here, FPS is better, but take this especially on bosses because FPS will go down about the boss, what it will do, how much damage it will happen, how much effects will happen on the area you are playing in, and all of these things. For your MS, for your ping, so your ping is about your plays. That's something you tend to change, but for sure as your MS is going higher, you will do less DPS. As it's going down, it will do better DPS, and that will be compared especially with the characters you are playing. Some characters is affected so much with ping, like Soul Fighter as example, especially on ice, because your right click is dependent on this. So if your MS is going down or having a low MS like 20 as example or something less than this, things will be a lot better for you. And the other thing that your MS is going up as you fight. So if I'm doing this as example, for some reason green MS, as you can see, to go up, so it's reach 70. It can reach something higher than this, going to 80. Sometimes for me it reach 100. So that's something about the game. You can't almost change it, but you can use any program can make you get better MS, like EdgeLad as example. If you use something like EdgeLad, you will stay on this 60 or 70, whatever what you have, and you will do a lot better for sure on your DPS. For sure, but that can make you lose DPS for any problems that can happen. Some of them can give you DPS, but actually it's something not real. It's just any random things happening. So point number 4, items not working on time. Items not working on time, this can go for two things. As example, if I will talk about items not working on time, I can talk about something like talisman. If I will talk about talisman, that's a problem, you are doing it. If I am not talking about talisman, it's something random, you can't do anything about it. So if I will say I'm going with this burst like this, I will do just right click and left click and going for this much. Okay, if I use my talisman, I should go for something better. So losing my talisman effect on the sense can make some problems. As example, I reached this time 22 and I am standing on 18 million as example from just right click and left click. Until this effect is going down, for sure my DPS will go down. So that's something depend on you. So for sure, don't forget your talisman and use it on the right time. The other thing is about passives on the items itself, like as example the effect from the ring, effect from mystic damage. That's something you are doing it by yourself. So that's something you can say it's like talisman, you are the one in control. Sometimes you are not the one in control at some characters. As example, when I was playing with third spec blade master, so it was dependent on my V. So my V sometimes go to cooldown if my weapon, and that's something what I'm talking about also. If the effect from the weapon came early, so my skills will reset, so my V will take a reset, so I can use my misted badge on the right time, so things will do better for sure on my DPS. If these things will not happen, so I will take a long time until my misted damage came back, so the skill can make my misted damage is working, so I can use it, so I can get the extra damage from my misted damage, or sorry, my misted badge. And if that will not happen, for sure you will go down on DPS. So some of them you have to do it, some of them you can't do anything about it. So if I will go for any random burst as example, I can go sometimes for 60 million, sometimes you can find me on 40 million and can't reach even the 50 million. So since it's dependent on the effects coming here, what I can control is bracelet, mystic, badge, and for sure effects coming from soul badge when I use the right skills on the right time, and talisman. That's what I can control. What I can't control is any other thing. So if I will go like this, as example, V, then is V, 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 and another battle blade, V, V, V. So this time I reached 50. If I look to my states here, so as you can see, just one stack on my weapon. If I burst again, maybe I will get 2 or 3 stats, maybe I will get 4 or 5 stats. So if I will go again like this,
Invincible.
okay, look, not even 1 stat, but look like some other items worked better at this point, so things doing better. So if I will go for third time, V, battle plate, weapon is super sleepy, so I didn't do any damage. So this sends something you can't control simply, and if things went better and this one is starting 5 stats as example, I can reach 60 million super easy and things will be a lot fine for me. So going for another point, and that missing attacks. What is the meaning of missing attacks? I mean I missed one of my skills, and this skill is especially important, especially if it's important, so it will affect my DPS. So if I will say my flash step is super important, and if I miss it, I will not do another flash step. So look what will happen to my burst, another V, okay, I lost it. So I am standing like this, like a statue, because of this. So I begin to do my damage. For sure, I didn't even reach the 30 million, so my DPS is going down so much because of this. Okay, so if things went better and then they didn't miss this attack as example, if I didn't miss it, so at V and V and V. So just from the V's I reached this numbers and my burst went better, so I reached this much of damage. So missing skill like this was super critical for me, so I don't have to miss it. For sure, missing the skills is not just about you miss the skills completely, but sometimes you missing the time, like I have my 4 and I have to use it and I didn't use it for like 2 or 3 seconds, so this sense can be so bad for you. Sometimes when you wait a bit, that is better for you, like as example, if I'm waiting sometimes for my V because my tab is not ready, so I can wait 2 seconds and use my V and I can use my tab. For sure it's a lot better for me. Like if I will also do this for my 4, that's a lot better for me, so I can get the 2 bonuses together with my next attacks and do things better for sure. Sometimes you can do this also to wait for your soul. As example, I'm going here, I'm doing some DPS, my soul is working at the moment, so I can do the max DPS I can away from I missed my starting, just to show you. So as example, if I have burst at this point, I have this in cooldown, so sometimes you can wait. As example, if I will wait for my V until cooldown going here, so I can use this, and this will do the max damage as I'm doing this with the soul effect. So all of these things can make a difference on your DPS if you miss it or doing it on the bad time. So going for another point, and that's tank mistakes. That's something not about you always, it's about the tank. So if you are tank, if you missed sometimes, you will make the others lose DPS. So let's take a look. If as example I will choose anything like chamber first boss as example. So I am here at the moment, I am the tank. So if I will use as example again to attack like this, and I missed something like this attack or this attack, I'm taking here a knockback. What will happen? This boss will jump on me. Jumping here, if I will say there's a ranged character standing here, he can't attack the boss, so he'll have to jump. So that will make a lose on DPS for sure for him. So I have as a tank to stay on the right way. Sometimes some attacks you have to make it go to a direction away from your party and you put it on your party way, so you will make this damage. So as example, if I will say I am normally tanking from here and I want to tank from the other direction on my party direction, so I will make this attacks going for my party, so for sure that will do damage to them and that will make them lose their DPS. So this point for the tanking. And for the others, for sure, who is playing on ranged or who's fighting whatever melee or ranged, your tank mistakes or the tank mistakes can make them lose their DPS. So for sure, you have to do better as tank, and you have to take a look on his mistakes so you can avoid another mistakes can come from his mistakes. Like he did a mistake and I can see this, the boss will jump, I will press as example E or SS or whatever the skill I can resist with my character, so I can reach the boss on the good place and begin to do my DPS normally, and I have no problem even if he do any mistakes. But this mistake, it happen a lot, so you have to put it on your mind. For sure, changing threats also can do the same. As example, if the tent not using the threats and the ranged have some good character or have some good damage, and you can take threats by force because of this, so you have to stay in closer range so things can go well for you. And for sure your DPS mostly will go down as you don't normally tank the bosses, so learning tanking with even ranged character can solve this problem for you, and things will be a lot better for you and for your party for sure at this moment. Okay, so for last point, and that's the last thing on this video, as I will make the DPS test and all of these things I will make it from another video, so not wasting your time, or this will take maybe a lot time. So that's buff to no buffs. So that's something simple. If you have a party and you don't have any buffs on your party, so things will be for sure you will do less damage and things can go like this. If you have buffs on your party, so you can do a lot of damage and things can go better for you. But the point about this is not that simple. So sometimes your party members don't understand when to use their buffs. Sometimes you will find the players don't have even misted badge. If you are playing with new players and they are using the misted badge or using the burst, as example, if I am talking about warlocks, if they are using soul burn without a good effect, so that can make a less DPS on your party. If you have two warlocks as example, someone will do a time distortion and the other one will do soul burn normally, so that will maximize your DPS. Sometimes you will find them didn't even talk to each other, so both of them using soul burn, you will do less damage. So the things you have to understand it very well. If you are playing as example on alliance party, so you will have to make some balance and give here a soul burn for this party and give soul burn for the other party. If you just have two characters, as example you have warden and have warlock, so warlock will do time distortion and the warden will do the burst, or sorry, will do the soul burn. Okay, if you have party from like 6 members super strong and others is not that strong, so maybe you can put, if you have two soul burns as example, put both of them on your party. For sure, I'm not talking about two wardens, I'm talking about two warlocks. So one of them will use time distortion and the other one will use soul burn, so that will maximize this party damage. So overall your alliance will do better DPS for the bosses. If you don't have these things, so you can put one here and one here, you have two soul burns and things can go fine. If you have two wardens, you will put one warden here and one warden here, as they don't have time distortion, so things will go a lot better. Okay, so simply things doing like this. Buffs is super important and for sure it can make a lot of difference on your DPS. So as example, you can go for a boss and you doing like as example 30 million. If you are doing 30 million to this boss normally and you will have buff, maybe you will do it like 32, maybe you will do more. If you are doing or killing the boss on the burst, maybe you will find a lot different. As example, my max burst normally is about 66 million at max. If I am playing with party on alliance with a lot of buffs, I can reach 80 million burst on the things, maybe can reach the 90 million if I'm lucky. So buffs for sure can make a lot of difference. Another thing for Astromancer, so Astromancer in alliance, you can put it on just one Astromancer and it can give all of your alliance the buff, so you don't have to need to put someone here and someone here. You just one Astromancer on your alliance party, on whatever party 1 on party 2, it will give all of your parties on party 1 and party 2 and will give them the mystic damage bonus, and things will be a lot fine for you. Talking about all of this, things can make you tired actually, so I'm beginning to lose my control on myself. But anyway, last thing to say, you tend to do always your DPS on the same boss or the different bosses. Always, like if I am doing here, as example, 20 million, sometimes you can do on other boss 30 million or do less than this. It's about the boss movement, it's about the boss, how it control things, how many CCs this boss can do, how many things you can resist and you can't resist, and all of these things. So not always you can do the same DPS, because I am doing on training dummy as example 30 million, that make you do 30 million always on the same bosses or on other bosses. Sometimes you can kill boss super fast, so you'll do it on burst, so you can do 18 million as example, or sorry, 80 million or anything like this. Sometimes you can't do anything like this, so you will do less DPS. Some bosses is changing and moving or doing anything can make you can't DPS them for some time, so for sure your DPS will go down. So compare things to whatever you can do on the same boss, that will make you do better on DPS as you begin to understand everything from what I said on this video and the video before this, and thanking the video if you are thanking also. So with this, it's the end of this video. So thank you for watching, guys. Sorry for the video, it's super long or longer than what I expected. For sure, don't forget to subscribe if you are new on the channel, or you didn't subscribe, because I know a lot watching and didn't want to press the subscribe button. Super lazy for this. So anyway, don't forget to use it. Like the video so video can go for more people and can get more impressions, so I can reach big community more than this. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.